It's 2:13 a.m. You wake up just enough to shift your leg and realize you can't. Your dog has already adjusted before you even moved, circling your mattress, stepping carefully over your arm, and settling into that exact spot behind your knees. Their breathing slows. Their body presses into yours. Not randomly, deliberately, like they've done this 1,000 times. And maybe you smile a little, half asleep, thinking the same thing most people do. They just love me. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story, because what your dog is doing right now isn't just affection. It's one of the most complex expressions of attachment behavior in the animal world, and most owners have no idea. Let's start with the loyalty theory, because it sounds reasonable. Your dog follows you from room to room, waits outside the bathroom, lies at your feet while you cook, and sleeps pressed against you. So the explanation feels simple. They're loyal. They love being near me. They're my shadow. But here's the problem. If this were just about comfort or preference, your dog has better options. They could lie by the radiator, stretch out on the couch, find a quiet, undisturbed corner. Dogs are incredibly efficient when it comes to rest. In the wild, conserving energy is survival, so choosing a sleeping or resting spot is never random. And yet, they keep choosing you, even when you move, even when you get up, even when it means giving up comfort. So why? Why would an animal repeatedly choose a moving, unpredictable, sometimes inconvenient human over a stable, comfortable environment? The answer isn't loyalty, it's vulnerability. And more specifically, attachment. In 2013, researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna, led by Lisa Horn, conducted a study that changed how we understand dogs completely. They adapted something called the strange situation test, originally designed to measure attachment between human infants and their mothers. Here's how it works in simple terms. A dog is placed in a room with their owner. Then the owner leaves, a stranger enters, and the owner returns. And researchers observe one thing. How does the dog respond? What they found was extraordinary. Over 61% of dogs showed clear signs of secure attachment, meaning they used their owner as a base of safety. They explored more when their owner was present, showed distress when they left, and relaxed when they returned. But here's where it gets deeper. This pattern is identical to human infants, not similar, identical. And this wasn't an isolated finding. A study from Eötvös Loránd University in Hungary in 2015 replicated these results, confirming that dogs don't just bond with humans, they attach to them. And in attachment psychology, this matters, because when your dog follows you from room to room, they're not being clingy. They're performing the single most fundamental behavior in attachment psychology, seeking proximity to their secure base. They're not saying, "I like you." They're saying, "You are where I feel safe." But here's where it gets really interesting, because this isn't just psychology, it's chemistry. In 2015, a groundbreaking study published in Science by researchers at Asabu University in Japan, led by Miho Nagasawa, discovered something almost unbelievable. When dogs and their owners make eye contact, both experience a spike in oxytocin. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone. It's the same chemical released between mothers and infants during breastfeeding. And what they found was extraordinary. Dogs that gazed longer at their owners caused a 130% increase in oxytocin levels in humans, and in return, their dogs' oxytocin levels increased as well. A feedback loop, a biological loop of connection. And here's the key detail. Wolves don't do this. Even hand-raised wolves, those raised by humans from birth, do not show the same oxytocin response. This co-evolved specifically between dogs and humans over thousands of years. Now think about what happens when your dog follows you constantly. They're not just near you, they're reinforcing that chemical bond. Every glance, every step behind you, every moment of proximity. They're literally regulating their emotional state through you. And that's not something any other species does quite like this. So when did this start? The answer is basically from the beginning. 15,000 years ago, long before agriculture, before cities, before written language, wolves began approaching human camps, not aggressively, carefully. The less fearless ones stayed closer. They scavenged, they observed, and over generations, humans began tolerating them, then feeding them, then depending on them. Archaeological evidence from a 14,000-year-old burial site in Bonn, Germany, studied by the University of Bonn, revealed something remarkable. A human buried with a dog, but not just buried, cared for. The dog had a severe illness, likely canine distemper, and survived for weeks longer than it should have, meaning humans actively nursed it. These weren't just working animals, they were family. Genetically, modern dogs even carry unique variations identified in studies from Uppsala University in Sweden in genes related to social bonding and digestion, allowing them to live alongside humans. So when your dog follows you today, they're not just doing something new, they're repeating a behavior that's been selected for, reinforced, and deepened over 15 millennia. Now, I want to tell you about a study that nobody talks about, because the result seems impossible at first. Researchers from the Mayo Clinic Sleep Center in 2017 studied people who slept with their dogs, and objectively, the data wasn't great. Dogs moved, they shifted positions, they disrupted sleep cycles. In fact, in many cases, sleep efficiency dropped by around 10 to 20%. But here's the paradox. Over 80% of participants reported feeling more rested, more comforted, more secure. So how is that possible? And this is where it gets deep. Because maybe your dog isn't improving your physical sleep. Maybe they're restoring something more ancient than sleep. Your ancient sense of safety. The same safety early humans felt when another living being kept watch nearby. And the latest research takes this even further. In 2022, researchers from Monash University in Australia studied heart rate variability, HRV, in dogs and their owners. HRV is a measure of how your nervous system responds to stress and relaxation, and what they found was extraordinary. Dogs and their owners showed synchronized HRV patterns when resting together. Their nervous systems were literally aligning, calming together, reacting together. And this only happens within bonded pairs. Strangers, no effect. Unfamiliar dogs, no synchronization. But bonded human-dog pairs, in sync. Sleeping beside your dog isn't just comforting, it's a neurological event. There's one last thing I need to tell you, and it might be the most important part of this video. If your dog has been following you everywhere for months or years, and one day they suddenly stop, don't brush it off. Dogs are creatures of habit. When a deeply ingrained behavior disappears overnight, there's always a reason. It could be environmental, a new pet, a new person, a shift in your routine. It could be physical pain, often the earliest sign even before limping or visible discomfort. Or in older dogs, it could be cognitive decline. Studies from University of California, Davis suggest that up to 28% of senior dogs show signs of canine cognitive dysfunction. Your dog doesn't have language. Behavior is the only way they can tell you something is wrong. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m. with exactly 6 inches of mattress left and 80 pounds of dog pressed against your legs, remember what's actually happening. 15,000 years of evolution, a neurochemical bond no other species shares with us, an attachment system built to mirror the bond between parent and child, all pointing to one thing. Sleeping beside you, following you, choosing you is the safest place in their world. And honestly, the science suggests it might be doing something for you, too. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe to Mindful Paws and drop a comment below. I want to know, where is your dog sleeping tonight? And if you want to understand why your dog stares at you for no reason, that's the next video. And trust me, the science behind that is even stranger than you think.